to Ken.
Okay.
I want to get to 50 Cent.
Yep.
Ken might get to you.
Oh, no. And he made his, debut on Shady Records via the 8 Mile soundtrack. But
he made his major label debut,
right?
Sort of with us. He first had a deal with Columbia. They put out How to Rob, and he recorded an album for them that they never put out. But they put out in Europe, they put out like an EP, the Power of a Dollar EP. So technically, it wasn't the first. And then after he wasn't with Columbia anymore, he released Guess Who's Back, which was the record that really got our attention.
And I want to talk about that because this was the superstar that you signed to the label.
No question.
And
before him, there was not one like him, and there never will be again.
Ever.
Nope.
Just kind of take us back a little bit, just in that period of time when he was on the radar and the decision process and how things kind of transpired in signing him and so forth. Briefly, if you can.
Well, I remember at one point, I don't remember where we were. Maybe I told this story before, but we were somewhere doing a show or something, and I remember DJ Head, our old DJ, he had Life's on the Line. He had the Life's on the Line record and played it, and I think that was before everything happened with 50.
Yeah. That was isn't that from Power of a Dollar?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So
that was the first
Columbia
record.
days.
I think that was the first record that I had heard
before
from.
How to Rob.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you like that beat. You used to rap on that beat.
Which one? The Murder. Yeah, that one.
Life's on the Line.
Yeah. No, I thought you were talking about the other one. Yeah, no, that was, I think, the first record, and I was like, that was the first one I remember hearing, and I was like, holy shit, this dude is fucking dangerous. And
little did you know.
Yeah, nah, he was like on some MC shit, was like, yo, he's a fucking threat. Like, he's a lyrical threat. Like, and it was the way he was saying this shit, and he just made you believe it. Like, Fifth, when he said a fucking, like, whatever, I mean, he's always been like that, but it was like something that I hadn't heard before. Like,
yeah,
yo, this dude, like he sounds like he's gonna fuck you up. He's talking like, and that's how, like, you know, shit, man, like rappers like when NWA first came out, and, you know, you had those groups, it was like, this is so crazy because, like, it was shit was said with such conviction that it was like,
it felt like Ice Cube was going to come out the radio and punch you in your mouth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was going to say that about 52. It was like, it's the same shit. It's like, it sounds like he believes in what he's saying right now. And it was the passion behind it, and it was the way he said it and the lyrics and all that shit was like, yo, he's a threat.
Yeah. So then cut to time later, and, you know, 50 was I think that Columbia dropped him. I don't know if it was before he got shot or after. What was it?
They dropped him after he got shot.
So he gets shot. Not bad enough, right? You're sitting in the hospital, but then your label fucking drops you.
Crazy.
So, you know, that's not an easy place to come back from.
Mm-mm.
But he hooked up with Shah, and he hooked up with Theo, his lawyer at the time. And Theo was one of my close associates and partners, and started feeding me the music. Like, yo, I know you know about 50, but you have to hear the new shit he's doing. And I'm like, new shit? I didn't even know he was going to be rapping anymore. Like, you know, the word had reverberated around the industry that this guy was, you know, pretty much a rap. So I was checking it out, and I was like, whoa, this is pretty crazy. I'm going to let Marshall hear it. Marshall we were still filming 8 Mile at the time. Mm-hmm. And he was filming the movie. I was
riding around bumping that shit more than anything I was recording myself.
Right. So you were filming the movie, you were recording the music for the movie, and finishing the finishing touches on your album, your solo album too, at the same time. The Eminem show.
Oh yeah. So
he you know, it was crazy. And once we finished filming the movie and Marshall had a second to focus on the music, that's when we got serious about it. We thought, hey, if Dre likes this, he'd be a perfect partner for this, since he has been through the craziness, since he does make the best beats in the world, since if he's feeling this, it would be a perfect sort of match.
Right.
But I think there was also something to be said about the same credibility factor that Dre gave to me.
Yeah.
We could use that with Fifth, because anybody who had their doubts about me signing him or anything like that, it was like, you know, for anybody who didn't like me or was like, oh man, now, you know, what's going to happen with Fifth is, you know, it was more of a stamp. Dre stamp could not hurt in any way you go. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? With anything. So it was more about like, making sure that we didn't fuck this up and making sure that, especially back then, anybody who hated me is just going to turn his music off, like if it was just us, if it was just me, like that's how I think I was probably feeling at the time, was like, man, I don't want to fuck this up. I want to make sure that this shit works, because I want to make sure that I don't want him to not get a chance by certain people, whoever, by turning the radio off or not even buying it because, oh man, he's with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wanted to make sure, like, we make this shit official, and Dre putting his stamp on it makes it even bigger for, even more so than what I just said, bringing it to an even bigger audience, because now you got Dre's fans, you know what I'm saying? Like, you've got Dre has so many fucking fans. It was like, yo, between the two of us, man, let's try to, if we link up, this could be a crazy idea.
Anything could happen.
Anything could happen.
And as the kind of as the recording process was going along, at what point were you guys like, whoa, this is gonna be a problem?
Immediately. He came out making records. I remember he took a trip out to Detroit. He took a trip out to LA. Everything that I heard was stop you in your tracks.
Wow.
Crazy.
He could not miss.
Which all made Get Rich. I'm assuming,
yeah,
right?
Well, yeah, of course. We were fighting to see what wasn't going to make the album, because there were so many good records.
Yeah. They're in hindsight, I mean, every record, every song on that Get Rich or Die Trying is probably fucking incredible and top notch. And I think that was one, in hindsight, it probably was too many songs, but there was nothing we could get rid of. Like I think, I don't know if we kept everything, but I remember just thinking like, fuck, what can we get rid of?
There's like 20 records on there, even with the bonus cuts.
You can't even get rid of anything. And then it's like, what if you get that one song you do get rid of, that could have been somebody's favorite song? Because the shit that he was recording at that time was like fucking nothing I had heard like it at that point in time.
Right.
Like, it was so new sounding and so fucking, it was everything, man. It was dangerous. It was like, I knew Fifth would get the respect from MCs and just everybody. I don't know, man. It was crazy, because it was like he was hitting all areas.
Yeah, he was hitting the club, he was hitting the street, he was hitting pop radio, he was hitting urban radio,
and he gave
was
Hook Kid a
covering
job.
all the bases.
Gave me a job. I think the
mixtapes, they crushed the fucking mixtapes. Nobody's ever gonna do mixtapes like that again.
Yo, that was the end of it. Like, after that, it was like when they was done, I was like, I didn't want to hear no more mixtapes after that. How
much this guy made so much money off selling mixtapes, he pulled up one day in front of BT in a fucking Lamborghini. I am not making this up.
That was my money.
Yeah, nobody ever did it like that with the mixtape thing, and nobody can ever do that ever again.
No, they killed it. It was over. Forget it. People were fiending for those things. They're fiending.
That's the thing, because there was a story with his music, and combined with M and Dre, that's like a no-brainer. It was 10 million off the back. Like,
I mean, of course, but the records.
That's why you were bringing it up. You couldn't even take a record out, because if you take a record out,
you can have all of those elements, but unless you have the right records and they got the fucking energy and excitement and danger that 50s records had, man,
I felt like all we need to do is get people to listen just once.
And that's it.
Listen once.
Well, they listened.
Just give us your attention for 2 seconds. Turn this record on, and you will not be able to turn it off.
Well, speaking of records that you can't turn off,